Squirrel has one of the most deceptively high skill ceilings in this game. In this video, we'll show you why. Complexity from this character comes from how good you are at creating lineups on the go, predictions, and good game sense and aim. But that alone is not enough. Knowing minute tech and advanced tech for Squirrel will push you even further. To truly hit higher ranks with this character, you want to know it all. I'm Cirzee, or Treetop, one of, if not the only Squirrel main that's been top 500 in Eternity multiple times, while holding a consistent 62% win rate over 450 plus hours. But anyways, this is my guide. Squirrel's tail is included in the hitbox. It is 1-to-1. Also, one thing to remember, when you start strafing, your tail box goes to the side. You're basically doubling your hitbox in total. What this means is you should always have the tail hitbox in the back of your mind when you try to third person peek, or when you're fighting someone, or trying to run away. However, recently, I found out that some characters can hit it and others cannot. I'm going to speedrun through the ones that were interesting. You can skip if you want. One thing to note though, when I was testing, it seems that a lot of abilities that are projectiles just go straight through her tail. For example, Namor's left click hits her, but the right click doesn't unless you get really close to the body. Anyways, that's all the really notable ones. I just don't know why it's so inconsistent with other characters, but I mean, now you know. Primary fire is a projectile that explodes after 2 bounces, so with that in mind, there are a couple choices you can make to hit said target. Direct hits are the main form of shots you can go for, but when do you choose not to go for a direct hit? Rollshots are a safe option for strafing targets that are mid-range, or as a panic fallback if you cannot hit direct hits. If there's no wall or the wall behind them is too far away, I think you go back to full-on roll shots to make sure that you get the guaranteed damage in. Ricochet shots has many uses, whether it's to funnel or predict targets pathing to kill them, using it to flush out players or even deny sight lines from poke. This is what she excels at. You can even do a term that I call double nut because it's funny, where you align yourself or crosshair to enable your acorns to hit the same area roughly at the same time. This leads to insane burst and lethality. We would want to use this during chokes or even mid-fight. In fact, you can even triple nut someone. Very hard to do. I'll cover some lineups I have later in the map section. Direct hits are very basic and straightforward. This is the main thing you'll be doing to make sure the target you want to die, dies. The only really tech that I know and do is the melee weave, which enables you to do some extra damage and kill higher HP targets faster. Just make sure you don't complete the third melee because that does a tail swing and that messes up your damage per second. I think a big help to some players is to think about the objective of the enemy's movement. What is their next goal with their movement? Are they trying to get to cover? Are they trying to be in the line of sight of their healers? In this clip, I showcase an easy example of seeing someone's next objective with their movement. After getting hit by me and then a Jeff, which has him drop to half HP, what would his goal be? Why would he choose to commit a full combo on a Jeff instead of taking the medkit? Then he can decide to commit or leave. Now, let me just say this. I don't think this alone will be 100% correct because not everyone thinks the same. That Spider-Man could have just easily have left after being hit, but it seems like he wanted to commit. The best way to learn a character's mindset and goals is to play the character, or watch people that play the character. We'll cover this in a secondary video. If you didn't already know, you can cancel the wind-up with a melee. The stun hitbox is tied to the top of her head, where the acorn actually is. This is important against certain divers and flyers. This is why aiming down is a little bit easier. On maps that have slopes, you can use your tail bounce into it. This is one of her major tech and I use it a lot to get back from spawn faster. This will give you a great boost forward. You can chain this into multiple Bhops afterwards. I realize some people don't know how to do Bhops actually. If you're on PC and you bind your secondary keybind on jump to scroll wheel, to do the Bhops, you're actually just going to use the scroll wheel, and as soon as you're about to touch the floor, you're going to scroll. I personally don't know if there's a way to do it on console, so I'm sorry. The thing you want to know is you have to press the movement key in the direction of the slope. For example, if the slope is going left, you want to press the left movement key. Also, if you get any speed boost, you'll go even further. This ability is very simple, but there are things to note. It does reset your ammo, but the most important thing to remember is that it holds your cooldowns that were active before you press the button. This can get you killed, so be aware. But there is something that I do that prevents this. You can use a melee tech to get the cooldown started. Now this is useful for a couple of reasons. You're getting the cooldown started, so when you need it, it's going to be back. You're also not pausing any of your cooldowns anymore. This is a habit you should build whenever you need to use your E to reload. It's a very short and easy thing to do that will really help you in the long run. This team up is not good. Far cry from what we had previously, but the main use this has is to snipe targets that are very low and far away. But this team up allows us to do one combo to kill 275 targets. By doing a primary fire into a team up, and then while that animation is playing, you hold down primary fire again, which immediately fires another shot off. I recommend throwing a stun beforehand. It increases your chance to land the combo and then makes your damage go up to 345. There isn't any really insane tech for SG ult, but it will surf walls if a flying target is near it and you jump into them. Now to add on to that, you can actually make it surf a strange portal as well. It will usually ride over it and damage players as it goes through. My overall general tip though is to use your shift before you're about to use your ult. Not only does it make your ult a lot harder to hit and break, this can catch people off guard, especially if you're doing it around a corner. Another thing you can do with your ult is to kill Magnetos in their ult with yours. If they're low HP, it's actually worth a good attempt. If you have a rocket or a Luna damage boost, I recommend just trying to kill through support ults actually. For most supports, all you have to do is ult into primary fire. For Luna, you have to break her overshield, and for Cloak, you want to stun her at the end of it. For Cloak and Dagger, there's an additional thing you can do. Using communication? I think that's the word. You can call out to your teammates and say that you're going to stun her at the end, and having everyone shoot at her will probably kill her. You can also just dump your ult into her if you want. I think it's perfectly fine to try to attempt this because your ult comes back very fast. You're gonna run away probably. Wait, I'm stunning. Nice, huge fucking yes, teammates, listen! There are 3 playstyles I rotate between during games, and the most basic one is the Frontline one. This is the style to focus on mispositioned players or specifically targeting the support that is behind the other one. I only look at a tank unless I'm unable to see anyone else, or I'm going to stun them to secure a kill due to a call from a teammate. Playing with a diver in your team, the style is even stronger when you're mainly looking at supports or whatever your dive teammates call. You could even call for them, as you should be calling out whoever you get low and telling them to go in. Especially if you get out key abilities like Cloak Bubble or Loki Lamps. Communicate with them to dive with your ultimate as well. Overall, I'm playing mostly right behind my tanks, and I'm using my shift occasionally to get another angle to poke the backline easier. This is a standard style that helps you make some pressure. I'm never playing in the backline unless it's heavy poke or it's generally unsafe to be next to my tanks. However, if you have a solo tank, it's okay to play in the middle of your team or next to any cover that the map has. And don't forget, it is your job to deal with every deployable. This goes for the Peel style as well. They should never have Loki clones set up and squids everywhere unless you're securing a pick. Your main objective is to make sure no one touches your backline. You're not entirely focused on dealing damage to the enemy's backline as you typically can't damage them, but you're specifically marking 1 or 2 divers. I think Squirrel usually struggles with multiple dive if they're coordinated, so if you're finding it's a problem, you should tell your other anti-dive player to mark the other target while you focus one. For example, if you find it easier to hit a Spider-Man over a Panther, you would really only go for the Spider-Man, and your Bucky would deal with Panther. Your general position should be right in front or behind the supports if the enemy dive is taking big off angles or flanks to get to them. This playstyle is usually hard for low rank players because they take the worst times to go and flank. I think this playstyle will come down to experience and game sense as well. The best time to take an off angle or a flank is when there's downtime, usually when the fight is already started, or there's times before the fight you can go in. Trying to find an angle to get an early stun and solo ulting them is perfect. It's completely fine to solo ult people in general. In fact, I encourage it. Also, send emotes. Tilt them. All you have to do after you solo ult anyone, just spam the good boy emote. They'll tilt, they'll target you. And that's how I climbed. Literally, just do that. He's typing in chat. Are you unkillable? Hold up. I just might solo him for fun. Oh. Wait. I'm going to speedrun all the maps to tell you which ones I think, in my opinion, are the best for SG. I don't think I'm going to go in detail, but you could ask me when I'm on stream. Arrako by far is her best map. The tight spaces, indoors, wall bounces are really easy because the walls are flat. Makes it easy to create on the go wall lineups, and the teleporters make it so you do aggressive plays with Squirrel Girl. However, third point is the hardest because it's very open, which benefits hit scan more. Museum is another S tier map that follows the same layout as Arrako without the teleporters. This map is basically a hallway until third point. The walls are flat and nice. This makes it really easy to also make lineups just like Arrako. And ults are usually pretty solid on this map too, but the third point, once again, is very open. It's not really good for her. Lower Manhattan. I actually want to give this map like a low S tier. Even though it hasn't been out for a while, I've been able to find some really crazy bounce shots in lineups. Overall, the map feels like a hallway map. The walls are nice and smooth, so it's pretty easy to create on-the-go lineups. And thanks for the high buildings, you can create really easy double knot lineups too. The only downside of this map, I feel like the attacking first point is not really that good. I'd say Central Park is A tier due to the easy first point attack, which lets you contest the areas that supports usually sit, and the ult is very deadly on this part of the map. After first point, she falls off, but usually is still playable until third. Defense though, on second and third point is pretty easy to hold people back unless they have problematic hit scan DPS. Shin-Shibuya is on this list now. It came back. It's tier A because it follows the similar style of Central Park. It's pretty easy to bank shots off into a support and get an easy pick. However, hit scan are very strong first point. Second point attack and third point are pretty solid. There's potential of flanking and being aggressive in second point. There's a lot of off angles and like rooms you can sit in. Although first point isn't really great for defense, I think second point and third point are really good. I think this is a pretty solid A tier map. It can be very hard to attack sometimes, typically when they have hit scan holding height and or off angles. Third point, depending on how good their team is, it actually can be very difficult, but if your team already has the tempo, it usually means you're just going to roll third point too. Defense side, it can be hit or miss. Second point and third point is actually pretty nice. The map has pretty solid walls, so you can get some pretty easy wall bounce spots. Second and third point can feel really good with your ult because it's almost like a hallway map at that point. I know a lot of people like this map and a lot of people say it's her best map. I think it's overrated. I think this is a map that is only really good for SG for defense. Second point and third point attack is just not really good. Second point attack just feels impossible if they have good hit scans in general. Third point is kind of the same. It can be very hard to actually walk up and put pressure. I don't know, overrated map to be honest. Heart of Heaven, this map has a good potential to be A tier in my opinion. First and third point can be very difficult to attack, especially first point. Any hit scan on that height you need to contest, and trying to usually means you just die. Second point is very good though. The smokes enabling you to flank or do aggressive ults and or plays really help you. When you have your ult, I recommend trying to be aggressive. Hell's Heaven is B tier due to the maps being pretty open, so hit scans are pretty solid on this map. It's really hard to contest and capture the points back once I already have it, but once you do, Krako is very good actually. Frozen Airfield, you can hold them close and hold height when they walk in. And on Super Soldier Factor, you can hold them even closer and then apply pressure before they even walk in. And on the Eldritch one, it's just not really that great, but you can stand on the side and watch for flankers. Or in downtime, you can go for your own flanks. Midtown is like a bottom B tier map. The map is sort of like a hallway map, but is open. So some really solid bounce spots to flush out people from cart. Second and third point, it becomes a lot harder to find angles to pressure the backline as defense. Second point attack is usually fine. You're able to get natural high ground and can off angle on the left. Third point, I don't think is that great for either side, but it is better for defense. This is a C tier map. It feels entirely based off if you can capture first point or hold up close. If you are able to, SG is very good. The hard part is contesting long angles. SG isn't very good at that. Also, your ult can just go off the map anytime on Spaceport or Warrior Falls, which makes you feel like you have to solo everyone. The Clintar Domination almost offers the same thing as the last map, long angles that are really not good to contest, and she feels only really impressive when she's already on point or near it. I feel like domination maps aren't really good for SG. It really comes down if you capture point first or not. Overall, I don't really recommend playing her on these maps. Another unfun thing about this map is the walls are really rigid, so it's hard to get precise wall bounces. Krako, oops, wrong picture. F tier. This is the worst map ever. I'm biased, but also this map is just terrible. Long sightlines, hella Phoenix, run the game, and then also your ult can just fall off the map, and that's great. That's fun. Walls are just curved, so that means your ult and your shots are just gonna go wherever they want. The only good part about this map is when the match ends. These are all the Bhop rollouts I have for each map. Some of these are just created on the go, because some maps have doorways and lips that you could just initiate a Bhop on. I feel like I can do better than that. I would say a general rule of thumb, if it has a slope or is slightly slanted, you can Bhop into it or start something off of it. So if you see a curved slope, I would say why not try it. Another example is on these doorways. A lot of the doorways on some maps you can initiate Bhops on and get a lot of speed from.
Back into action. My tail, yeah, it's super warm and is very handy in combat. Oh, now that's a snack.
But as you can see, you can Bhop into basically a lot of the slopes. I hope this inspires you. Just keep trying to find them. Obtain mod. Mod is great. You get paid.
You have no heals.
These are some generic lineups that I use in game. A lot of the time I'm just doing stuff on the go, but here are ones that I typically do often. You need to be like right here, shooting like on this line, and then you can also do it from here. That works. You'll die for the video. Okay, hugging this area. Aiming roughly here. I kind of just guesstimate, to be honest. This lineup is specifically for that container. These are the double nut lineups. Amazing name, I know, but the acorns hit roughly the same area at the same time. Aligning yourself with this and aiming with this general line here. I recommend using your jump to get a better angle as well. If you walk up a little bit from the tube lineup, you can get another double nut lineup by shooting the back wall here and directly at them. Some lineups on Manhattan, standing to this corner and shooting to the left of this F is in a spot where you get a lot of time to get direct hits in as well. You come up and shoot in the spot that the other acorns land, you can actually get another double lineup. You actually get an angle to shoot them where you're standing from, but you can also jump up if you need to. The map isn't broken. You can get a direct double hit on someone. For Arrako, if you come up here and align your crosshair with this red line, following this line going right or left, you could hit behind that box that a lot of players sit behind. You can also hit this lineup when you're down below too. Both lineups give you a lot of time to set up a double splash damage hit, or you can double direct hit them. As a general tip though, for double nut lineups, you can just create them on the go if you're on height at all. If you aim down, not all the way, you can get an acorn shooting in front of you and at the enemy. Someone asked me to talk about attacking setups. Two maps specifically, I try to go for aggressive off angles or flanks right off the bat to get a pick. There are some notes you need to do before you do this. You should coordinate with your divers especially. The extra bit here, you don't have to break the wall, but it is advised. Another important tip, giving your divers a countdown when you're about to land the stun is massive. If you don't use your mic, just pay attention to where your diver is positioned. Are they able to assist you? If not, then wait a few seconds. Now, when going for the stun, do not be impatient. Look for the opportunity when their movement is the most stationary, or when they're getting pressured by your team walking back, it's even easier. I want to throw in another general tip. If you use your mic, you need to tell your team who you're shooting at. No exceptions. You will find that the target you're looking at dies a lot faster. Now, this applies to Midtown as well. Going under or on top, you can find an angle to find a pick early. Again, I can't stress this enough. Tell your team who you're looking at. It will help them, I promise. Now, unfortunately, this is the conclusion for part 1. I never planned to make a part 2, but I noticed that I had an extra hour and 40 minutes of matchups, and I realized I have to edit and record all that footage. I still need to get some people onto this guide, and I'm sorry. I wanted to make it all into like one video because it'd be easier to just do that and not have to worry about editing for a foreseeable future, but I hope this guide actually helps you. If you need any questions or you have any questions just in general, just like you can go on the Discord or you can join the Twitch stream. I have the best Squirrel Girl emotes, by the way. Look at them. They're amazing. Anyways, bye. I hope you have a great day, and yeah.